So there are too many awards. Everybody knows there's too many awards. It's said to me constantly. To be honest, I know better than anybody. It takes a lot of judges, and you're standing on stage handing out a lot of awards. So we had 68 awards handed out at the dinner last year. This was just way too many. I think it undermines the prestige of the awards, to be honest, that there are so many. And so we decided to make it a much more balanced awards night, and to reflect the realities of the industry too. So the first thing we've done is to take marketing out of the awards and put it with the advertising awards that held the previous night at a gathering that we have as part of the conference. So marketing will be kind of looked after, but in a different environment. Second thing we did was we've looked at the categories, and we've looked at the segmentation of those categories. So the Newspaper of the Year was designated into circulations of up to 10,000, 10 to 25, 25, 90 and 90 plus. We're now aligning that with EMMA data and the segmentation that EMMA provides the industry, and that essentially is national and metro, regional and community and small regional newspapers, and everybody's going to fall into that, and that seems to be a much fairer way of looking at things. So we've had a few anomalies in the circulation area. We've had the Manly Daily manfully going up and never complaining, I've got to tell you, about against some of the biggest newspapers in the country, and they've always put in a tremendous entry, but it's hard for a newspaper of that size to do battle with the Sydney Morning Heralds and the Australians of the world. So they will be much better looked after. We've had newspapers kind of fall into different circulation categories, either upwards or downwards, and I mean one that I remember most was the Wall Street Journal, which didn't get into the 90 plus category, and so people like the Launceston Examiner are entering a competition or a segment of the competition that has the Wall Street Journal in it in Hong Kong. It's tricky. So these kind of anomalies will go now, and that's definitely a positive. And I think therefore it'll be a much more interesting and wider, broad-based competition than we've had before. We're going to keep the name newspaper. So it won't be news brand, it will be Newspaper of the Year, and in that realm a newspaper now must not only display its credentials in print to the judges, but also its credentials in digital. So a complete Newspaper of the Year entry will in fact embrace its digital properties. So the editors who helped guide our decisions were brought together by Ian Moore, and Ian Moore's going to join me in a minute, and we're just going to have a quick discussion about why we've made these changes, and as a former editor of a metropolitan newspaper, Ian can tell us why he thinks this is better. So right. Ian, we had a few editors, the good and the great, come through the Newspaper Works office in the last couple of weeks and gave us their view on the Newspaper of the Year awards and what needed to change. What were the big takeaways that you got from their observations?
Well, the thing that I found very encouraging, there's just massive support for print as a medium, as a platform. And I'd say that most editors felt that online is just an extension of an existing platform. That newspapers is the platform, and under that is online, mobile, and print, which I think is a very healthy way to regard the industry.
Because we had a bit of a discussion about whether you call it Newspaper of the Year, or in fact you call it something else, didn't we? About news brand or something.
Not quite that, but I thought to, particularly if we're going to have a debate about the direction of this, the direction of the industry, that at least the award should reflect the way the industry is heading. So it was a little bit provocative. I suggested that we don't call it Newspaper of the Year. We call it, for instance, Pamper Awards. It might be the Pamper Award for Best Print Platform, or Pamper Award for Best Online Platform. But I think that really got people thinking about.
Got them stirred up.
That's right.
It certainly got them stirred up.
Yes, and a few were quite strident in their views, and I think that was very, very healthy.
Yeah, and so one of the other interesting kind of changes that we've been asked to make is to drop circulation segmentation of categories. So the sort of 0 to 10 or the 90,000 plus, and we're going down the EMMA path of segmenting it through national and metro papers, regional newspapers and community and smaller regional newspapers. What difference do you think that's going to make?
Well, I think it's going to reflect essentially where the newspapers are headed, because circulation is not really a reflection of how we should be categorising divisions. And certainly, I think Emma's shown us the way there. It'll give a proper reflection of the readership demographic, and let's judge them on that.
Yeah. So we had editors from four major stakeholders.
Yes.
And we had editors that we flew in from New Zealand too for this conversation.
Yes.
There was a lot of unity, wasn't there, around their views in general?
Absolutely, and particularly in terms of newspapers being the vehicle, and other platforms are underneath that headline of newspapers.
Yeah.
And when you think about it, I mean, it's the only way that our platform should be marketed, because you've got television, you've got radio, so what do we do if we just become a masthead?
Yeah.
So indeed, I think it's very sensible.
Good, excellent, thank you.